If you want to rank up and hit Unreal fast, you clicked on the right video. In this video, I'm going to be going over all the tips that you need to know to rank up fast in this new season of Fortnite. Epic Games has made it a little harder to rank up in this season, so make sure you follow every single tip I give you in this video, because I'm going to be going in detail on the best drop spots, best loot, and the new meta for this season. So make sure you drop a like down below and follow my Twitch. I'll be live every day. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So for the first topic in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best game mode. The most important thing that people need to know when they're trying to rank up is that the game mode that they play matters. The game mode that I see people ranking up the fastest in is solos. This is mainly for the fact that solos are super consistent. You don't have any teammates that could change your performance, and you don't have to worry about finding random teammates either. I just find that it's easier to lose points in duos, trios, and squads compared to solos. In solos, even if you die off spawn or have a rough game, you're not going to lose as many points as you would in duos, trios, or squads. But if you do have a very solid team, you can still play with them and rank up a ton. If your team has amazing chemistry and always is on and ready to grind, playing with them could be even better than playing solos. So ultimately, it does depend on your situation, and it is kind of up to preference, but just know that solos is the best way to grind and get to Unreal fast. So for the next topic that I want to cover in today's video is your drop spot and your early game strategy. In ranked, early game is one of the things that people struggle with the most. People either die off spawn too often, or they don't have enough loot, shield, and mats to play out the rest of the game. This leads to them ending up in shambles and dying. When it comes to landing, you want to consider a lot of factors. These factors are going to be loot, health, materials, and location. Starting with loot, of course you're going to need a spot with enough loot for your duo or trio or squads, or just for yourself. If you're a solo, 5 to 10 chests should be good with the floor loot, but if you're a duo, trio, or squad, of course you're going to need a lot more chests and a bigger POI. When it comes to materials, it is kind of self-explanatory. Just make sure your POI has enough wood, brick, and metal around it, so that way you and your team can farm up. Wood and brick are going to be the main ones that you want to make sure you have a lot of, because those are the best mats to use in rank. Because trust me, you don't want to be caught up in in-game with no mats. When it comes to health, it's kind of the same thing. If your POI doesn't have a lot of shield, then you can go to other places to find slurp barrels. I have noticed that Epic Games did up the shield dropping this season, so you should be good. And you can even get minis out of the bigger ammo crates now. You can use slurp trucks, flow barriers, or even fishing areas to make sure you have enough shield. When it comes to location, you need to make sure that the POI you pick isn't too far from zone. And I know zone is kind of random, but if you go somewhere that's far on the outskirts of the map, most likely you're going to get pulled. And you don't want to always have to run to zone, so make sure you pick somewhere that's kind of close to the center of the map. If you need help planning out your drop spot, one resource that's good to use is Fortnite.gg. I've said this in a lot of my videos, but it's a really helpful tool to use if you need to know where the chest, ammo crates, or shield barrels are on the map. It literally shows you every single item on the map and where it's located. Another tip for early game is scope out the players that's contesting you in the air. When you're landing, you want to try to count how many people is going to be there, so that way you won't be surprised if someone else pops up. Make a mental note of where they land, so that way you can rotate over there and get the easy kill, or say they will rotate over to you. And you want to try to land at the best position in your POI, so that way you can try to get some easy kills out the air, or so that way you can see all the fighting that's going on and you have time to loot up and then rotate over there and clean up any of the kills that's left. And this tip doesn't really go for just early game, it goes for the game in general. Play for third parties. If you're wondering why you're always getting third party, well, you need to be the one that's doing the third party. If you see a fight going on, wait for the right moment and the right opportunity and go over there in third party and try to get both of the kills. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that tend to fight first are the ones that get third party and die. And trust me, you don't want to be that. But getting into the next section, we're going to be talking about mid-game. Mid-game isn't that complicated. You just need to remember one rule. Do not fight in mid-game. If you start fighting in mid-game, you're going to get third party, especially if you're in the center of the map. And kills count for more when you're in the in-game anyway, so there's really no point of fighting in the mid-game. If you do want to get some easy kills and rank up a little bit during the mid-game, then play on the edge of zone. Trust me, if you play on the edge of zone, those kids are trash. They're scared and they're playing passive. They're trying to play for placement. So if you go over there and you just full rush them, you're going to intimidate them and they're not going to know what to do. At the same time, you want to play smart because you don't want to be that kid that's getting rushed on the edge of zone. In the next section of the video that we're going to be getting into is the in-game. Now, in-game shouldn't be too complicated. You just can't panic. You're not going to have those stacked in-game lobbies like you see in scrims or cash cups or even FNCS. Should have a fairly chill in-game. It's probably going to be like 5 of y'all left in a pretty big zone, so it's probably just going to be a sniper battle or people just spraying you out the air when you're trying to rotate. But when you're in the in-game, you want to make sure you're making smart rotations. You have a lot of heals and a lot of mats. Don't waste all your mats and heals in the mid-game. You want to make sure that you rotate as early as possible so that way you can look back and try to get kills on the people that's rotating late. And if the game is kind of stacked, you want to kind of look for height towards the end of the end game, if that makes sense. But if you just stick to the fundamentals and the basics of fighting, you should be good for the end game. You just got to remember, don't be second height, because second height is first dead. If you're one layer under high ground and one layer above low ground, you're going to die first because both of those layers are going to be spraying at you. So you want to be either high ground or low ground. You don't want to be in between. A lot of what end game comes down to is how you set yourself up between early game and mid game. But if you boys did enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like and comment down below and follow my Twitch, link in description. But it's Winter, I'm out, peace.